All righty, folks. We're out here today. We are going to be castrating Rusty. His owner's here today, Fred. He's here, and we're waiting on part of the crew to get here. We're going to brand him, castrate him, and do brain surgery, as they say. So we got old spurs tied up over here, and I'll spare you guys all the gory video. We'll just take some pictures of the process and maybe I'll insert them. But that's what we got on the agenda today. And then I don't know what else we'll get into, but y'all stick around. Come along. You gotta have more, you know, like laying him down the front end was easier.
Yeah.
So we just did that. Some horses, they lay down real easy and it's okay. No.
You're on your rope.
Fred goes, on your end, on your rope.
Still yanked me forward a couple times.
This is how everybody done it for thousands of years. You know. And out here we don't have vets we can just take our horses to.
Right.
They're so in demand, and most of the time they're so busy, and then they charge a blooming fortune.
First male child.
Yeah. And an arm. An arm or a hand.
Or both.
Piece of ballboard, man. Anytime you're working around the horse, always be conscious of where your lead rope's at, and then have it to where you can manage it all the time. Like I say, it's a fluid situation. You can't just go, okay. Actually, when you work in any stock, that's the way it's got to be. So.
Gotta be ready for anything and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's stronger than us, too.
All right. Time for him to go rest. He's going to bleed a little bit, but they all do.
I'd be bleeding, too.
Tomorrow morning I'll work him, and he'll be moving around good.
It's a little sore.
Oh yeah, he's going to be sore.
You could tell. It's like,
I would be too. Somebody cut off a couple of my opinions.
back of this truck. I'll put right here, let him put what he wants.
What about the branding?
Now you can have some fun, girl. It wasn't supposed to be a sport when Dad pulled him out.
All righty, folks. Well, the castration, we had one little mishap. He got a little western, but we got it done. Got the horse down. Got him castrated all right, and he did really good. I think he's gonna be okay. One day I'll talk about the signs, the lunar signs, with y'all. maybe later in the video or something. But we were going to brand this horse, and I was want to take and show you some branding irons and kind of tell you about stamp brands and that sort of thing. So I got Fred's branding iron here, and you made this, right, Fred?
Someone in the family did.
Oh, someone in the family. Okay, so let me take and show it to you. All right, so this is a heated. This would be with fire, with propane or wood stamp iron, and two things that I noticed right away when Fred brought it over. Number one, the handle is really short. And for a heated brand, the smaller the areas, like these little cutouts for the A and for the 8, the smaller that is, there'll be a lot of heat trapped in there, and it will cause the brand to blotch. Even in this little area here, between the A and the 8, that would blotch. So I recommended to not brand the horse with this because it's too small for the design. So if you're thinking about getting a brand, or you're getting a branding iron made, something you want to take and you want to keep into consideration, avoid holes or characters that need holes, because these areas heated up will blotch. That, and the handle's really short, that would be really hot. So I would make this brand, I'd actually make this brand into 3 brands, branding irons, and I would do 2 circles, one larger, one smaller, but they would have to be at least, you know, pretty good size to not blotch. The other thing you can do is you can put notches in this, little slices in the branding iron, and it will let heat and gases when you're touching the hide escape, so that it releases the heat out of this area. There again, it needs to be bigger. The other thing that is a really good idea, it needs to be smooth. It doesn't need edges. I would bevel these edges all the way around. Just bevel them to where they're more rounded instead of flat. Because what'll happen here is this will blister, and when you take the iron off, it will actually pull the hide loose. If it's rounded, that won't happen as much. So just a couple things about branding irons. Now there are freeze irons. This is my old freeze iron. It's a half circle or a quarter circle A+, depending on what part of the country you're in. And this is a freeze brand. This is done, we brand with dry ice, 100% alcohol, and shave the area. And what it does is it kills the hair follicles, and they come back in white. And just a quick little run through of it. What happens is the darker the horse, the less time it has to be on the horse in order for the brand to read. You're just wanting to kill those hair follicles, and that's what the dry ice does. There again, this is made out of really small brass. It doesn't leave a huge, big brand, and it's kind of a neat little brand. It's real small and defined. It's made out of round stock, and this is what I prefer to brand with. I prefer to freeze brand. If you can get your hands on some dry ice and some 100% alcohol, easiest way to brand a horse. I've got nothing against, heat branding. This is a little cleaner and a little less traumatic for the horse, but depends on what kind of horse you're taking and keeping. So, if you got to make 2 or 3 branding irons, you can do that. That'll make the heat less, notch it, make it rounded. So just thought I'd take, we didn't brand him because the branding iron it was not what I would prefer, and it'd make kind of a mess. You wouldn't be able to read the brand. All right, this camera work may be a little shaky. I don't know. I'm gonna work him. I'm gonna talk while I work. I'm just gonna move him around like I normally would. And he's not really bad swelled up because he's a pretty lively little horse, so he moved around a little bit. And want to trot him around. And you know, I do want to see some fluid coming from the incisions. I want to see some fluid coming down. You can see it's on his legs and stuff where he bled. They all bleed a little bit. He didn't bleed much by, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He didn't have any blood. And moving around quite nice. And one of the reasons he is doing so good is because of the signs. Now, what do I mean by signs? So if you look at a farmer's almanac, you can look it up online. It's going to have the lunar signs, and it's going to have the areas of the body that are associated with those lunar signs. I may not get the terminology right, but all I know is what I know. I'm going to turn him here. So the Farmer's Almanac will have the lunar signs, and there'll be parts of the body that are associated with that. And where I like to take and do most things with animals, particularly when you're castrating, weaning, stuff like that, is I'll go to the lunar signs and I'll look and see what's what. He wants to stop. I'm gonna switch directions here. Nope. There you go. And we castrated yesterday. The signs were the last day of the knees and the first day of the feet. Now, if you are not familiar with the Farmer's Almanac, that'll mean nothing to you. But I watch them, and that's when I schedule my castration. If I'm going to castrate, I take and I kind of getting testy there with me. Pick it up a little bit. Good. Turn to me that time. And every time I have, the stud horse never remembers he's a stud. Even older studs, they never do. And this is just, there's some people who have a hard time with signs and seasons and times. There's a lot of misinformation out there. This is not astrology or anything like that. It's the way God designed it. He said he put the stars and the moon and the sun in the sky for signs and seasons and times. And if you take and you follow it, it's been followed for a lot of years, you won't have near as much problem with your livestock. And it used to be taught as part of animal husbandry, to wean, to breed, to castrate, all the different things you do with animals. He's getting feisty there. He says, I don't want to work. So that's what we do. We castrate everything in the last day of the knees or the first day of the feet, and usually it only stays in the feet for 2 days. So I like to get the last day of the knees. And if you castrate in the body, when the signs are in the body, you are going to have a horse that bleeds a lot. I've seen horses that almost died because people castrated them on the wrong sign. If you castrate a horse in their head, they will be a stud the rest of their life. People say, oh, he's proud cut. You go, no, he was just cut on the wrong sign. It has to do with the gravitational pull of the moon. And like I say, it's the signs that God put there for these reasons. So this horse won't have very many issues. He won't be a big bleeder. See, he's not even bleeding now, and I'm moving him around. He's not really swelled up. I've seen horses swell double the next day after a vet castrated him. So You want to move them around about 15 or 20 minutes. And good boy. Get them loosened up. Don't want them to get stove up and sore and swelled up. Move them around. So I'll do this every day till he's healed up, and tomorrow I'll probably ride him. Get him in the saddle and ride him. He rides pretty good. Not too bad. He's good. He's a good started colt. He's not broke. I wouldn't say he's broke. Wouldn't say he's way far away from being a finished horse, but he's a good started colt. That being said, I hope that kind of helps you. It's hard to explain it all in a little old bit, but the summation of it is you want to castrate horses in the knees or below. Look at the Farmer's Almanac if you've never checked one out. You can plant by it, light of the moon, dark of the moon. You can put down gravel by it. There's a lot of things you can do if you want your gravel to stay on surface and have a good driveway. Follow the signs. Grandma taught me a lot of it. I learned a lot of it from a really old 1940s animal husbandry book that I got as a kid, and I took and read it many times. It was a good book. So give him a little breather here. And I need a breather. You can see he's a little swelled up. Not bad. See if I can zoom in there for you. You can see he's a little swelled up, but not bad. Not for a horse that was just cut yesterday. So I'm going to continue working him here just a little while. I do see a little bit of fluid coming out there, which is good. We don't want that fluid to build up inside. A lot of times what will happen, the outside will heal up before the inside. So you want to keep them moving around, keep those incisions open. It sounds anti-intuitive, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Move them around, get those liquids moving, and get those healing juices flowing, and all the water retention and the fluid that's going there. You want to make sure that it doesn't take and accumulate, swell up. It can cause infection, edema, that sort of thing. So what we'll do probably this afternoon is I'll work him again for a little while, and the rest of the day he can rest. Tomorrow I'll work him, saddle him up, and ride him a bit, and it'll help him to keep from getting sore, and it'll just continue his training. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video right here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you see, tell your friends about us. If there's something you'd like to know, I've got some subscribers been here a long time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can always go to our Facebook page, our Instagram, our TikTok, and you can go there and ask questions and leave messages, whatever. And a lot of times we post stuff on there that we don't post on YouTube. But if you want to stay connected and you've got questions you want to ask about anything, I don't know a whole lot, but I know what I know, and I know what works. So until next time, if you don't know which way to go in this old world, commit your ways unto the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He'll bring it to pass. We'll see you later.